Today is October 14th. The Yankees lost Game 2 of the ALDS to the Guardians. Let's talk about it. Let's talk all about it.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy Jake.
All right, Yanks lose Game 2. We were at the game. Now we're back. Brought to you by SeatGeek. John Boy Playoffs is the code if you want to go to some playoff games, Yankees games, concerts, whatever, NFL, NHL's in action. John Boy Playoffs will get you 10% off any ticket, and you can use it multiple times. Thanks to SeatGeek. Jake, the series is tied. It's a 3-game set, and the Guardians have home field advantage.
James Davis, everyone joining us, everyone that we saw at the stadium that was super nice to us, everyone that'll be enjoying the rest of it with us. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. You go up 2-0 at the stadium after winning the first game, and you're feeling pretty good. Nestor's first start. We're having playoff start. We're having fun. Man. And then the offense goes silent. You know, Nestor has that bottom of the order, some walks there that end up coming back a little bit. In a way, this is playoff baseball, right? Like, the Yankees had one big swing. It gave them 2 runs. The Guardians, they were the Guardians, Not a lot of guys are big danger threats for them. Rosario clips one. Our bullpen actually does kind of a good job, but here we are in the 10th inning. Bloop, bloop. Now you feel it. You're going to Cleveland playing 2. Tristan McKenzie's a really good pitcher on the bump tomorrow that we are in the teeth of it. And I don't know. I think the thing that hurts a game like this hurts, people of this sports debate. It's a classic sports debate. However you define this game, a close game, and comes down to 1 or 2 plays. Like, if we just got mauled by the Guardians, we'd be like, whoo, these 2 guys got rocked. Yanks were never in it, and that's it. But there's managerial decisions here. There's player performances. There's a lot of moving parts that are, I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be a long one. Tomorrow's going to be the first, scary gut playoff day.
Yeah, it's already stinks. There's a ton of topics from this game that, we took the subway home, and you can just hear people stand on subway debating them.
The good and the bad.
One guy kept yelling at us, why'd they bring Talison in?
Why did they bring in Talkin?
Why'd they bring Talison in?
Kept looking for a high five and saying that to me, and I was like, man, that's
You're out. Joe's would have just said, you're out. Kept walking.
I thought about it. If it was later into the subway ride, I would have said that. But it was the start, so I didn't know how long that kid was going to be following me.
Yeah, the Guardians beat the Yankees in the way the Guardians beat teams. It's frustrating, but that's what they do. They didn't have a double until Naylor put that over Bader's head, right? It was all just bloops and singles, but that is what they do, and it's a credit to them. It's just super frustrating when it happens. And the Yankees started out hot. They had the nice double play by Rizzo, the energy, the home run in the first inning by Stanton. They had runners on early on in the game, but never came through. And there's some big decisions that everyone's talking about that we should talk about. There's some Boone quotes that are the worst I've ever heard and make as little sense as I've ever heard a manager's quote make. It has little sense. It's just singularly talking about the answer in the quote. It's so bad. The one thing that I haven't heard anyone discuss, and we can discuss all the big ones because that's what people are tuning in to hear, but the ones I haven't heard anyone discuss is what a failure switching Oswaldo Cabrera and Josh Donaldson was. They walked Donaldson 3 times because they didn't give a shit with 2 outs just to get Oswaldo Cabrera up, who looked really bad against fastballs, and he goes 0 for 5. And they walked Donaldson 3 times, and they switched them, hoping Donaldson would make the top of the order stronger because he's been hitting. But in effect, all they did was Donaldson got a free pass and Cabrera ended a lot of innings just striking out. So, and then Oswaldo and Donaldson also, that ball that bloops in left, and you wonder if Hicks is out there, does it get caught? So before I read the Boone quote about why he didn't pinch hit for Tilo, I was telling you, I think Hicks starts in left field next game. Because Oswaldo Cabrera's looked overmatched and a crucial ball drops in left field that he should get. Donaldson is over attacking it because he knows he has to make up for a rookie young guy in left and kind of scares him, but that's a ball that needs to be caught. And he looked bad. So that move right there, Swick, the only move they did in the lineup was big time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, Oswaldo will start out. I'm wearing the necklace. We love him. He got, during pregame intros, do what you want with this information. I think he got the third loudest applause. I think it was Judge, Nestor, and then Oswaldo.
Trevino gets a pretty loud applause.
I think Oswaldo had him beat today. And, we love an energetic homegrown king. Like, Yankee fans, the boxes that we like to have checked, he's been doing it. And let's, as we bounce around between lineups and different players' performance, Oswaldo Cabrera, left field is probably his worst position on a baseball field, and we have him playing there. Donaldson, you're right. It's a little scary, and as he's pursuing that ball, the other thing I had going through my head, and this isn't shots fired at Josh Donaldson, but, Josh Donaldson's the oldest guy in the Yankees. I've said that a few times. We saw Austin Riley in the Braves series make a great over-the-shoulder catch, Dansby Swanson as well. Maybe a younger Josh Donaldson gives that ball hell. 36-year-old Josh Donaldson, he never had a chance at that ball. So I know everyone's putting their best foot forward, and you start seeing the heads look at each other, and you kind of know what's going to happen if you've watched baseball. And even if it does drop, you can't throw it away because, you can't do what's Kay's phrase, the never-ending story of baseball or the predetermined destination.
Fallacy of the predetermined outcome.
Phallics. That blooper that's the next one, if Rizzo was playing back, that's right into his glove. But, the pitch sequence would have been totally different and all that. But, yeah, to start off the 10th inning, that's as bad as it gets. But, yeah. So let's just focus on left field for now. So, Oswaldo Cabrera, tough day, overmatched at the plate, probably trying to do too much. A couple big spots for him, a couple big swings, no results. 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts. And then, I was with you. I was like, Hicks, because Hicks had been playing good ball lately, and he plays a really good left field. Like, I actually get a little, not in a rude way, I get surprised when Hicks plays a good left field, but that's because when he came up, he didn't have center field as, like, his position. Like, a lot of center fielders adjusting to the corners is a little tricky, but he played a lot of corner outfield, so he's pretty good in left and getting overmatched. But as you said, your least favorite Boone quote and one of your least favorite quotes of all time, I don't know, because if they're viewing Hicks
let's play
in that light.
Let's play it so people can hear it if they have not heard what Boone said. He was asked about why Tim Locastro, they didn't pinch hit for him against Clase at the end of the game. A little context for those that might not know. Tim Locastro is on the roster to run and run only. And during the regular season, he spent most of the time in AAA. And when he was with the big leagues teams, they didn't start him and they didn't give him at-bats. They would just run him and take him out. He had 20-something at-bats versus righties all season. And now with the game on the line in a playoff game, they're giving him an at-bat against one of the best righty relievers in all of baseball. And you have 2 lefties on the bench. You're supposed to construct your bench to be used. So they asked Boone, why didn't you pinch hit for Tim Locastro at the end? And he said,
Aaron, you had Locastro in the game to run.
Ryan
You
Hoke.
stayed in the DH spot. Any reason you stayed with him against Clase instead of Marwin or Hicks?
Well, he's just Class A, a little bit more of a reverse split guy, a guy that doesn't really
not true
typically walk guys. So it's just for me, it was a little bit of a wash of an at-bat there. So I earned the player with Timmy already in the game.
So both those guys are healthy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so like 3 things that are just wrong there. Clase dominates righties and lefties both fairly equally. There's like a slight difference, but it's nothing that you would ever act on.
Right. Lefties are slightly better. Again,
Yeah,
minuscule.
Lefties are
but
slightly
still,
better, which
yeah.
makes what he's saying wrong.
Right.
So that's wrong there.
Right.
Okay. Then he says that he doesn't walk guys. That's correct. Clase doesn't walk guys. He throws strikes.
One of the best relievers in baseball.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's the best closer this year. But Boone is saying that Hicks' only value is a walk. And we've heard him say that when Hicks pinch hit for IKF. He said, we're looking for the walk there. It's like, all right, so if you send Hicks up, you're telling him not to swing?
Right.
Well, why is he on the roster if you don't value his ability to swing a bat at all? So there goes our thought about starting him in a game. Why is he on the roster instead of Peraza, who can hit and can also run, and you let hit during the season, maybe more than Tilo? And then he says, and then the third thing he says is, you don't want to burn a player. Booney, you're down 2 in the 10th inning. The game's over. What do you mean you don't want to burn a player? That's when you would empty your bench and people wouldn't scoff at it. So it's just the worst answer he could have given. An untruth, rips apart Hicks and his value in Hicks, and then one of the more moronic things you could say. All in one answer. It's the worst answer I've heard anyone have. And I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it is, but you construct a roster for a reason, and you didn't give Locastro at bats all season for a reason.
Right.
And now here he is facing, and it's no knock by me on Locastro. I wish they gave him more at bats because sometimes he can put a charge into one. And he did have a decent swing and fly out to left, but man, that answer is just wrong. Insulting to the guy you put on the roster, and then insulting to the audience.
Yeah,
the fans. It's stupid.
I mean, it's not the reason they lost. Again, Emmanuel.
No, not at all.
Like,
not at all.
If Hicks comes in, it's not like, hello.
No, not at all.
The Bronx Bombers are back. No, it's kind of like, when you have a video on your phone and you pause it and you try to scroll through and then you like super zoom on like half a second and you're like, wait, we're too far zoomed in. That's kind of what we're doing here right now. Like Timmy Lowe put one of the best swings I saw in the last 9 innings. But it's the
not
concept.
The reason they lost.
It's the concept of the roster construction that we've talked about for a month and how you're going to use that roster. And that's part of the reason why we've talked about this. And the way they treated Tim Locastro this year. You know, we saw him get pinch hit for people in a disrespectful way that now, in, biggest game of our season, you're going to leave him out there against one of the best relievers. Not going Hicks there, especially with the potential of him starting next game, which, again, we'll see what happens there. And then giving the wrong answer. When you zoom in on, if there's 100% of this baseball game, we're zooming in on a 1% or 2%. But that 2% is like, whoa, like roster-wise, answer-wise, everything-wise. That felt like a miss and a tough way to end the game.
Reasons they lost are they only scored 2 runs and Judge is 0 for 7 with 7 Ks. And I think Judge will snap out of it, and I hope Judge will snap out of it. But, I mean, that is terrible. You see what Yordan Alvarez is doing for the Astros because he's the guy, and they're trying to get him up. And Judge is 0 for 7 with 7 Ks.
Right.
I mean, that's one of maybe there's 3 big reasons they lost. That's one of them, for sure. The other, I think, is the Donaldson Cabrera switch. It happened a lot with runners on. And then the third is the defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe like 4 is they walk the Guardians bottom of the order way too much. Nestor needs to go 6 innings. And you said that a lot before the series preview, that they need to go 6 innings with the bullpen. And especially if we're going to use the bullpen short. Because why are these guys after all that rest only pitching 15 pitches?
Right.
And then we're bringing Clay Holmes in, which is scary. And then you have Tyone start extra innings. You didn't need to do any of that. They didn't throw a lot of pitches. Get 20 pitches out of him. Get 25 pitches out of him. Play to win the game, because then you're up 2-0.
Right.
They played this game scared. Boone played this game timid with his pitching. The offense got shut down by a really good Guardians bullpen.
I don't think you're wrong. And I think I would even bet on you being right, and I would make that bet at the DraftKings Sportsbook. They're the official sports betting partner of the NFL. You could still bet on New York to win this series. You could bet on Cleveland to win this series. Their odds got better today. DraftKings, they have their same game parlays. Go check those out. Those are easy easy to do, and you can do little things. It makes it a lot of fun. And by the way, we're probably going to be doing a Game 4 live stream now. We weren't sure if that was going to happen, but Sunday there will be a Yankees stream, and we'll probably place a couple bets because that makes it fun, and we do some silly stuff on there. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code JOHNBOY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Let's do a little bit of complimentary stuff because I do think maybe this is kind of a reverse poop sandwich, poop bread.
IKF had a great game.
IKF played great. Defensively, a couple hits. We like that. Good for IKF. I wonder if he slides up the lineup when we start talking about that and maybe pregame show tomorrow.
The biggest play that IKF made was when Loizaga was in, because it's what I've been concerned about this whole time.
Charging in, running in. Now, it's a routine play. It's not ever going to be on dun-or-not. But he made it.
Those are what he struggles with.
That whole inning, all three balls to him.
Yeah, the first and the third were kind of whatever, but that
made the play.
I think our soldiers tweeted out the third as a good play. It was good. It was a little jump over.
Yeah, he had to twist and catch. Jump twist. A solid
the first
play.
one where he had to charge in, that's what he has trouble with, and he made it. So that was good. Bat to ball guys did well, him and Gleyber.
Yep. IKF up the middle. Gleyber, 2 for 5. Nice opposite field to start the game. And then he pulled another one through the left side of the infield. Gleyber. Rizzo, he goes 1 for 3 with 2 walks. He had a scary moment late in the game. Grounder, hard hit grounder comes to him, but he's Anthony Rizzo. I mean, this guy, four gold gloves, platinum gloves.
I haven't seen that play yet.
We haven't seen it. We were there. We had an angle on. It was hard hit.
No, but I think they ruled it an error. It was right at him.
It was right at him. But Anthony Rizzo, I'm sure of it, would tell you he'd get that ball. He gets bailed out. He gives a big fist pump. So I won't fully hold that against him. And he was not a problem in today's game. I mean, 1 for 3 with 2 walks. We'll take that. Donaldson's at-bats felt okay, like you said. I mean, in a way, he might be getting pitched around because his at-bats have looked good.
I think he is.
And then, hey, what is currently our good bullpen and the guy that our Yankees are trying to convince is good bullpen, Trevino, Johnny, Wandy, and Clay, they did their job. As we can say, the Guardians are pesky and, they put bats on balls and they make chaos here and there. That crew came in and got outs. So those are the wins from today.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Stan hit that home run. That was
yeah,
nice.
G gets love and deserves it. And a walk.
Yeah. Any other wins, BBD? We miss anything? I mean, Trevino, first time we saw him.
Yeah.
Clay Holmes still scaring me. So
he looked good and then looked so bad again so quick, and that got scary.
The pitch selection by Clay Holmes on that Miles Straw walk is a worrying thing to move forward. I mean, why are you throwing a 3-2 slider to Miles Straw? He's not in the game because he's an offensive threat.
Yeah. Well, it's the pitch Clay Holmes thinks he has the most control with. He's still scared of his sinker.
That's the problem.
Right.
But
that's the pitch selection part of it. The problem is he can't throw that.
Yeah.
And every time, it sounds, sometimes some of our stuff is obvious. And Jim, you had this last time and it happened again today. If you're going to make Clay Holmes your closer again, the closer music was going in the stadium. They had the graphics and everything. But if you're bringing Clay Holmes in the game and Jameson Taillon gets warm every time Clay Holmes comes in the game, are you really getting your closer up? What do you think you're doing? So, yeah.
If the Yankees don't win this series and they move on, don't win the series and don't move on. If Clay Holmes blows a game because they're using him the way they are, it's going to. And he was fine the last 2, but scary both times. He walked a guy both times and only get 2 outs both times.
Yeah, only brought in a 2-out situation.
Yes, but
well.
0.2 with a walk both times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not great.
Not
They're
great.
really limiting his risk. If they continue this and they you have a save situation and he blows it, it'll be as because it's not a win yet. It'll be as confusing as Davey and Hap and Mike Ford pinch hit, and like it'll be that level for me.
Because Johnny and Wandy have looked great,
and Trevino's looked great.
Lou, this was his first game. He had the one walk, and then he got behind, but he fought back, and they pulled the plug on him.
But down the stretch, Lou looked great.
Wandy and Johnny, like, for what they did down the stretch and what we've seen now in the playoffs, like, I don't know, man. Like, that should be your back end.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's
like,
really...
I understand you wanting to make Clay Holmes happen, and maybe he can. And, like, again, there's progress, but maybe some middle inning progress. I don't know. But again, that plan worked today, so I'm going to put that in my rear.
I don't think the pitching plan worked.
Well, in a way, it didn't, right? Because they pulled the plug on him. But there is a spin zone, because I know. Did the Yankees pitch a little scared with these guys? Yes. They had their plan. They didn't want to burn them out because they're living in fear of the 4 or 5 game series.
They made a whole thing about how we're playing to win. Garrett Cole is starting game 4, and Boone said we're playing to win today, and then they didn't. They didn't. Because if you're playing to win today, what did the Indians do? Or what did the Guardians do? Class A went 2.1.
Class A 2.1, 33 pitches. Karinchak, 29, and Stefan. Their big three.
Class A's never pitched. He never pitched over 2 innings all season. He pitched over 3 innings today. That's playing to win.
Hopefully, we're talking in a couple of days about how Cleveland overspent their bullpen.
And the Yankees saved them. Yeah.
So
hopefully.
that's what you're hoping for.
Has a chance to be what our takeaway is.
But they need a hit. That's the other thing. And
that is the bigger thing. They had opportunities.
Judge going 0 for 7 is the biggest thing. They live and die with Judge. That's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're looking, just trying to find other things, Clark came in. I mean, pressure was kind of off, but looked good when he came in.
1 inning, 9
stadium
pitches.
was so dead when Clark was pitching.
Yeah, it was pretty over. But
it's very dead.
Did
weird.
well.
It was weird. Hey, BBD, you were at the game, right? Yeah.
Made it there.
What was up with all the music?
What was up with all the music?
Did you notice all the new stuff they were doing?
Say like one more sentence about it.
They did the Game of Thrones theme after on 2 strikes sometimes, which they haven't done all year. And we think maybe Game of Thrones is paying them as part of the promo because they're paying TBS.
They've been involved in the playoffs.
In between pitches when Clay Holmes was pitching, it was like in between the 2-2 to Straw or whoever. There was like just a
organy,
drum,
like rap music.
It was just
almost.
a drum solo. It was like boom, 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 it was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I never heard Yankees saying the only one I really noticed because it was in such a big moment was Judge's last at bat when they did it. He was like, I forget what the count was, but there were 2 strikes and they were playing like fun music.
It was really weird. I'd never heard him do that kind of music in between pitches. The organ was playing rap. That's what it was.
Yeah. There was one that was kind of a vibe. Everything else was bad.
Yeah.
Like me and Zach kind of had our shoulders going, and we're like, no, we're still not about this. Where do we stand with Nestor? First playoff start, 5 innings, 2. He makes the fun play off the mound to end it.
He struggled.
The walks
are bad.
At the bottom of the lineup are bad.
You need to go 6 innings. You do. And it's his first ever start in the postseason. Granted, there's energy. The crowd was energetic when like it really called for it, but it was kind of a daytime crowd. The section for us, Jake, they would stand at 2 strikes, but we were standing the whole inning when big times in front of us, like so everyone. But TBS definitely like doles out the crowd because it's been sounding really quiet.
Sun was a factor.
Day game energy. But I don't think it was like when Stan hit the homer and big outs, it was there. Clark Schmidt, it was like dead silent. It was weird.
Yeah.
Guy behind us kept yelling DFA Judge after every strikeout. And it's like, oh, wow, you're a Twitter in real life person.
Tough. That guy was tough.
Yeah.
Hedges with 2 walks, you kind of, if I'm Matt Blake, like that's a break the whiteboard kind of thing. Like Austin Hedges is a nice cat, does Chris Rose rotation. Cool dude from everything I've seen.
You think the guy in front of us was his brother?
I don't think so.
Because the others to his right
got
walked in by security, and they also had no Yankees on and weren't cheering for the Yankees. And I was like, do we have a little family section? Because that guy kind of looked like
There was a
Hedges.
couple guys closer to the dugout that I got a Hedges brother vibe from. He had some ink. I don't know. He looked like a skinny Hedges.
Yeah.
He visibly had, like, Hedges made a big difference with his framing. We didn't, which, like, we know from where we were, we noticed it. I was watching with the producer of Rose Rotation, so we were supporting Hedgie, but
It was a big zone. Pitching Ninja tweeted it out. I mean, it's pretty big.
Some of that.
How loud were the judge boos? Because we heard him on TV. In our whole section, it was 4 guys.
Yeah.
But they were very loud. But it was 4 people. Every human in my eyesight wasn't viewing besides 4 guys. But they were very loud.
I think the word a smattering of boos is appropriate.
You had some by you?
Yeah, I couldn't identify individuals. I was like, I can hear a couple people going.
Yeah.
It's probably about that ratio.
It is funny that it's always like that. And the beat reporters write it out, and you can hear it, but it's like 5 guys that are close to mics.
Yeah. We saw Matt Carpenter.
That was a big mommy. That was wild. And now I'm backtracking on my demand.
Right.
When they were up 4-1 and you had a chance just to let him get see it, maybe then you get his feet wet. And that's why I demanded it before game 1, because that was, I mean, it has to be the most pressure-filled first AB since a major injury ever. Maybe
I think Schwarbo came back in the World Series.
But he started the game.
Right.
This
so maybe
is
that first.
I said pinch hit.
Okay.
Pinch hit with 2 outs and runners on?
Against Stephan, who's a good reliever. Yeah, I mean, it's and I mean, even coming into this playoff series, again, we call them the catchers, right? Trevino and Higgy. Higgy had been really hot.
He puts good wood on that, just right at Ramirez.
Right at Ramirez. There's playoff baseball. There's a couple small things that this easily could have gone to the Yankees and say, well, it wasn't pretty, but that's playoff baseball. Yankees win. Right. And be like, Jake, use a mic better. And use your speaking voice. Carpenter, it's a tough spot. And with looking how they use the bench later in the game, if I knew we only had 1 pinch hit at bat available,
if I knew
maybe
they weren't,
it's not there.
If Hicks is a walk-only guy.
And our catchers, Jose Trevino made the All-Star team. I know since then, it hasn't been as electric, but we love Trevi. He feels like a playoff moment guy, right? Puts the bat on the ball, doesn't mind the moment. Higgy, who'd been one of our hottest players, now he's in an interesting spot because guess what? That not playing, like Higgy, this was his first game action in 10 days, something like that. So, that the layoff stuff and the rain out and how
Clase?
And now we're having how to use our bench. That Higgy at bat was kind of nice.
Who did Clase face? Everyone?
I mean, he ended up pitching 2.1, so kind of, right? Let's see, who didn't he face? Maybe that's the easier to identify. Who did he face? He killed himself. Clase came in. He got Higgy to line out to third. Damn, man, that's tough.
Yeah. Jake did a very...
3 sliders.
I think we have it because Zach made a vlog of our whole thing, but it's just, Higgy!
Yeah. I mean, I thought Higgy was having a moment there. I gave Kyle a nudge, and I said, is this his manager moment? And Kyle went, oh, so like he gets a hit and he can be a manager. And I was like, yeah, that's what...
I liked...
welcome to the party.
I didn't mind Higgy's approach because, like we said, Clase doesn't walk guys at all. And Higgy came out swinging. And Clase went slider,
almost got
first 2 pitches.
He almost got all 3. He went 3 sliders, and Higgy hits a liner to third.
Dude, I just watched, pulled up the game a little bit, just watched a 3-2 from Clay Holmes. It's...
slider in the dirt?
Yeah, but wildly uncompetitive. Can you see?
I can see. Watching it. Vibes. The 3-2, people are clapping. Nope.
Like never even presented as a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if he spit on it or...
I saw it hit dirt.
Yeah.
I think Class A faced 9 batters because there was a Donaldson walked, and the inning before that, Rizzo singled.
Rizzo with a nice hit off him, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good piece.
So can you tell me which of our players got hits off of relievers we're going to see again? Because that's something to notch in your bedpost.
Good news, bad news for you.
Rizzo?
It's only Rizzo because Karinchak had 3 walks in Class A, walked Donaldson.
Karinchak threw a curveball to Donaldson and then got only one, and then I think didn't throw any after that. And he was throwing the balls away. He's a weirdo.
Interesting guy. Know what else is interesting? And we all were wearing these at the game today. Yes, some cool John Boy Media merch. But also our Mugsies. We were watching.
Dude, I was burning up in my Mugsies.
Yeah, so Mugsy jeans, comfortable, warm through the game, wearing them tonight, wearing them. Might wear them tomorrow. Might need a new pair because it did get hot in the sun. So we were sweating in our Mugsies a little bit. But they were breathing.
Because I have the winter on that are flannel lined. They're not flannel, but they're like soft lined.
Right.
And we were in the sun, man. It was.
I mean, I brought my turtleneck.
Were you in the sun,
weird...
No, I was fully shaded. It was a quintessential fall day. Hot in the sun, cool in the shade.
In the sun, it didn't feel like playoff baseball.
No,
but
it was hot. My neck's going to be burned tomorrow.
Mugsies, we were all wearing them, and they're the best. They stretch. They're comfortable. If you haven't gotten yourself a pair yet, you need to. And yeah, like Jimmy was saying, they got some. If you're one of those people who likes the cold stuff, or maybe you're a skier, you're heading up to Vermont, you're going to want their pants. Some of them have flannel lining stitched inside the entire leg. You will never be too cold in your Mugsies. So with code JOHNBOY, you'll get 10% off and free shipping at Mugsy.com. Most comfortable jeans you've ever worn. It's Mugsy.com, code JOHNBOY, 10% off your entire order. Yeah.
We'll be live streaming tomorrow's game from a bar.
Holy
Torch
smokes.
and Crown. And we'll have, 150 people hanging out with us in the background, yucking it up, all big Yankees vibe. Thank you to everyone who bought tickets and are hanging out with us
Big
for it.
game.
Turns out it's a huge game. We'll be sitting on a couch, live streaming.
Sitting on the toilet.
Sitting on toilet. Yeah, now flush.
Viral.
That's pretty old now, huh?
That's
like
old
an
now.
11-year-old.
You could
viral.
label that early internet, and
That's
it counts.
2011 or 2010. Do you know that video?
I know that video.
We've referenced it on here a lot now. Ooh. I just no, ESPN just has videos pop up. I just saw the bloop from their camera angles. Would have been nice to catch that.
Which one? The
with Ramirez.
Cabrera one. And credit to Ramirez for hustling the whole way.
Yeah.
Gets the third. Guardians are they. I think you summed it up best when we were talking about the Rays and the Guardians. I think we were just texting, and I was saying the Rays stink, and I think the Guardians are way better than the Rays. And you summed it up as like the Guardians know who they are.
Right.
They're bat to ball, hustle, and pitching.
And
they will bat to ball you to death, and they did. They did today. Because at one point there was no doubles. There was 2 homers and then like 7 singles.
Yeah, they Steven Kwan is Steven Kwan, very unique player, great contact, young, good defense. Ahmed Rosario, kind of the same. Kind of lockdown shortstop for them. Righty. Look at this. They got Kwan and Rosario, who are kind of a lefty-righty version of each other. Jose Ramirez is their king. You bow to the king when you enter Guardian Land. Oscar Gonzalez and Naylor are like righty-lefty young power hitters, so you deal with that. And then the bottom of their lineup is like defense. Man, if they had another DH. Anyways, they already are scary. We're already in the woods with it. So there's a stolen base off the Trevino boys. It looked like Jose didn't have a good handle on it.
Yeah.
Like the throw didn't have the juice on it. And yeah, I mean, they scored in the first inning. You're up 2-0. Bing bong. Yankee season. Let's bring out the broomsticks. We don't have to play 5 games. And now, man, Sevy Cole, you do have to believe in that to a degree. And they used a lot of their bullpen, and hopefully that pays off. But,
so what are the pitching matching? So it's a 3-game set now. They have home field advantage, which kind of ruins winning the division in a way. And now And what are the pitching matchups? We have Sevy, Cole.
So it's Sevy versus Tristan McKenzie, who's
and
really
Herman,
good.
I think, now.
Severino versus Tristan McKenzie.
Yeah, Sticks is really good.
And then game 4 would be Cole versus
Quantrill again?
Quantrill, probably. Yeah, Quantrill looked fine.
Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We've been waiting to see Bulldog Sevy on the road. Sevy's been waiting to see Bulldog Sevy on the road. But yeah, I mean, what changes are we going to see? The only
none now.
We don't think they'll do Hicks now after that.
After that quote. Bizarre quote.
Yeah.
And in the moment, I had wondered if if they were down 1, would they have done Hicks? Because like you can run into home run. It sounds like no.
I've got a question.
Because Class A doesn't walk people. So
Yeah, that's what's your question.
If this series played out like it did, we're heading out to Cleveland. Our guy Oswaldo, tough game right now. Do we think Benny would get the start in left field? Like a one-handed Benny?
I don't know. If anything, do you put Matt Carpenter out in right field and give him 4 at-bats in a game?
Right.
With Oswaldo off the bench to run or something and move Judge and put him in left. Or, no, you would have to... Oh, he can't do that then. Because he can only play right? Can Carpenter only play right?
He played left at
in
Houston.
And I think did we
That's
get a
Crawford
Fenway
Bucks.
game at one point.
Maybe. I feel like those series were near each other.
Don't know the sizing on the corner outfields in Cleveland, but
They're decent size.
Good question from Dr. Van Nostrand in the chat. Why even have Hicks on the roster? Because if you're not going to pinch hit as a lefty for Locastro, the way they treated Locastro all year, then it's... I mean, they were asked that, and Boone gave one of the worst answers. So, again, not why we lost. I think why we lost is that the guy that we need to lean on for offense went 0 for 7. Didn't even put the ball in play at the end, did he?
Yeah. 0 for 5, 4 Ks, and then, I think
He's 0 for 8 with 7 Ks now this series with a walk.
It's tough.
And the rest of that, and whenever there was people on, they just moved it to Oswaldo to get the strikeout.
0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Carpenter, Higgy, Stanton, Donaldson, Cabrera, Trevino, Bader.
Yeah.
So that covers a lot of it.
And it seems like they were pitching around Rizzo, too. Seems like they've identified the guys they don't want to let beat them. And Judge right now isn't one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, sheesh. Playoff baseball.
Yeah. I mean, you wonder if it's a righty on the bump, lefty in the box in the short porch, but they really pitched around Rizzo, it seemed. Especially when counts got tight, when it got closer to a walk. I know he struck out once, but even that, I think it was 3-2 with a splitter, maybe out of the zone. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. We got the pregame show. We'll get the energy back up. We'll start clapping. We'll be at Torch and Crown. We'll be live on YouTube, hanging out with a bunch of people. So we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.